Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday. Welcome back to Wind Down Wednesday. I am so excited for tonight's hangout because I have a really fabulous human being on the show with us today. So grab whatever you need to get comfy and cozy. I've got my iced water with lime. So I've got my sweatpants on. I am ready to rock and roll. Grab what you need to get comfortable and cozy, and we'll see you back here in 30 seconds. All right, everybody. It is Wednesday, September 10th, and I am joined by one of the most fabulous human beings on this planet, truly. She is a genius. She is brilliance beyond belief. I'm so excited. Everybody meet and say hello to our friend, Dr. Dorina Ebuwa. Dorina! The crowd goes wild. I am so excited. So Dorina and I have hung out lots of different times at different conferences and all these different things. But I will tell the folks who are watching tonight, I think Dorina and I really connected in bigger ways during the pandemic because she had this fabulous series that we'll mention, we'll talk about. But a million things that I could say about Dorina, but I will say Dorina is the queen of transformational emotional intelligence. Dorina, for folks who are new to you, which I can't imagine they would be because you're the queen, but in case they are, tell our folks who you are and what you're about.
Oh, thanks for having me. Hello, everybody. This is awesome. I'm so excited to be invited. I got my messy bun, so let's have some fun. I got my double chin. We're going to dive right in and talk about some great stuff because we need to laugh, we need to cry, we need to think. There's a lot going on in our hearts and our minds in education in the world today. And I am Dr. Dorina Sackman Ebuwa, aka Dr. Dorito, and I am right here at the Florida-Georgia line with this New York accent by way of New York. And I do sound like Joey Bag of Donuts, but that's okay because I keep things real, and that's what we need more than anything else, authenticity. And I'm here to talk to you about your authentic self, not about self-care, but about self-preservation and the importance of, yes, that whole concept of the oxygen mask on first before, that whole analogy, metaphor, if you will. But in all honesty, it is about yourself and the radical self-care needed for you to advocate and be activists for public education, especially in today's polarizing society now. But about me, I was the 2014 Florida Teacher of the Year. Then I was National Teacher of the Year finalist. And then people started to want me to speak and consult. And I took the plunge. I now volunteer in classrooms across the country. I do something called Kit Kat Cafe, where I actually, when teachers need a break, they will text me Kit Kat and around the regions that I can travel about 2 to 3 hours. And I go and I take over that classroom. Schools are very interested in me doing it. And I just want to do it while the teachers can still be in there. If they're not taking a day off, they're not taking a personal day. I'm just there to help and empower and see and observe classrooms. And it's strictly voluntary on top of being a consultant around the world. And I'm just loving it. An educational, inspirational, motivational speaker, because I want you to believe. Oh, I don't know if you can see it because of the background, but I want you to be the educators who lead, to inspire and empower via empathy. And so when I'm not doing that, I live on my franch. It's not a farm. It's not a ranch. It's a franch that I hope to someday open up as the center of emotional intelligence, transformative emotional intelligence, where we have healthy teacher, healthy student, healthy learning. And I've been a teacher in ELL, dual language, AVID, reading, and a bunch of all those other smorgasbords of what they do for EL and ML teachers back then for about 25 years, now about 28 years, which is strange because I'm only 29. But yes, that's it. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to talk to you today. So back to you, Carly, and let's get this combo going.
Yes. Okay, so Dorina, when you said believe, right? BELIEVE, believe. Tell us again that acronym.
All right, there it is, scrolling along right there. So follow along like it's Lucy and Ethel getting the candies, getting the chocolates. It's going to go really fast, so hurry up. It stands for Be the Educators Who Lead to Inspire and Empower via Empathy. And you can change your E to what you want. You want it to be English. You want it to be emotional intelligence. You want it to be empathy. You want it to be excellence. You can have that E as what it is that you would like. But in all honesty, right now, we could deal with a little bit of empathy considering things that are going on now, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So I am so excited to have these conversations with you because during the pandemic, when all of us, right, we're kind of thrown into a very uncertain, unknown time, unprecedented times. I don't think you started your YouTube channel, but you had it and you were super, super active. And every week you would post like these ideas and these almost like lessons and like modules for educators everywhere who were trying to navigate life and cope with all these things. And I will tell you, like, that was however many years ago now at this point. But this is something that I will still come back to frequently as a practitioner, as a human being, because I think like people even outside of education, everybody needs this stuff, just like as humans, like we all really need this stuff. But it really did make an impact on my like social, emotional, mental health, like in general as a human, but especially as an educator and someone like I identify as an advocate. Like I call myself an advocate. So I think your tools and your skills and what you equip folks with, like it really is empowering because you're equipping us with like just the right tools and strategies to navigate a whole lot. And, you know, today alone, there was a lot of really big things that happened in our country and things that have been happening in our country. And I think a lot of us are probably feeling super overwhelmed and super like, I don't even know the right words to capture it, but I think a lot of us are just like, we all have really big, heavy things on our hearts and on our minds right now. So this is the perfect day to have conversations with you, truly, truly, because you have such tremendous gifts and skills in this area that I think all of us are just really hungry for, and we just really need this.
Well, I appreciate that. It was during the pandemic that I was struggling about it, and I wound up doing it almost every day. It was 42 lessons on emotional intelligence. And it was basically just professional development throughout that time for you to really understand what you, meaning anyone, what emotional intelligence is all about. I'm not really big on the whole YouTube thing at the time. And now I'm revamping everything to start a channel and to get on socials because everyone said I would listen to you if you're telling me stuff because you feel like you're the big sister or the auntie or the person that's going to keep it real. I do not beat around the bush when it comes to stuff. And I'm going to tell you the truth about it. And the truth is, the first thing, it is very emotional right now, right? And I want you, Carly, to do this just like I'm going to do it. I want you to make a bird, right? Make a bird like you should do a shadow puppet. And I want you to think about how your brain is like a bird that flies, okay? When you have a bird that flies, model for me right now, if a bird's wing was injured, how do you think a bird would be with one really injured wing? Model for me what would happen to the bird. Okay, yeah, there it is. The bird would kind of just go down. It couldn't fly. Well, ornithography, just look it up, Google it, the study of birds. I can't pronounce it, but I'm doing the best I can. The study of birds, they say that when birds actually have an injured wing, because if you understand how birds don't fly like this. Like they don't just fly straight like this. They have to navigate by going one wing, another wing to balance, just like flying a plane. And that is your brain as well. But when a bird actually has one injured wing, it perches. It does this. And it stays perched and then exercises said injured wing and then rest. Compare it with this wing and then rest. And when it's ready, it will then stop perching and then go along. But it's very difficult to just have a balance of flying. Nobody flies like this. No one lives their life like this, right? You don't fly a plane like this. You need the balance of the back and forth. Well, this is your cognitive and your emotional mind. The brain is two, not the left and right. I'm a lefty, so I'm in the right frame of my mind. No, I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is you're in fact having your cognitive and your emotional, right? So you have your neocortex, the limbic system, among other things. It's the 101. And you can go on TikTok University and people will try to tell you this and go download some AI thing for $9.95. Be careful of all of that stuff. You want to really do the work yourself, and you want people and you want to have peer-reviewed articles and understanding the true research behind it, not just somebody that's going to take it on AI and download something for you to make money for them. You want to keep it authentic. And that's what I'm pure about as well. The authenticity of the work that I've done for the past 10 years is in fact on transformative emotional intelligence, which is the ability to think constructively and behave wisely. And that is a difficult thing to do, but you first must know that you have two brains here. Your brain is the cognitive and the emotional. And when you are too emotional, you must do what? Perch. You must find that cognitive. So let's just say, for example, you're upset about second language acquisition and what's happening to Title III, Title II funding. You're seeing the dismantling of the Department of Education. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, and this and that. And that. Well, you're very upset about it, and rightfully so, but you must perch. I'm going to say something that a lot of people don't want to hear. I'm tired of how you feel in school. Okay, there it is. How you feel in education. Let it be the drive to perch, to then get cognitive and make change. But if you stay feeling, there will be no change. The feel should drive the change, which is your cognitive. So if I'm really emotional about Title III funds and then taking those funds away and all that kind of stuff that's going on right now in the administration and who is in office of the DOE and what's happening and all this, now I'm all upset. Now I'm just going to talk about it and I'm going to retweet stuff on Facebook and I'm going to do it. That does nothing except rile other people out, and you're feeding the monster. And in short, you're also getting agitated. You take that to the classroom. Then your cynicism, your sarcasm, your fatigue, everything that's going on. What you should do is check yourself by being, all right, what are my emotions? I am feeling, here's a sentence frame I want you to think about, and maybe Carly can put this in the comments. So everybody really take notes on this. I am feeling blue about Diddy because da-da, right? So I am feeling really ticked off about the DOE because I feel, and then you talk about what your feelings are. That's okay. You're recognizing your feelings. I am feeling doo about the D because da-da, right? But you want to also say, because I believe. Now, telling me how you feel, that's one thing. But that's why the word believe is so important. I want to know what you believe, not what you feel about something, what you believe. So you must do the work and the research and to understand truth, or at least the best facts that you can, because I don't want you to react. I want you to reflect. That you do. Once you do that, you'll be able to perch and say, oh, I feel this, but I believe this. I need to research more because this is frustrating me. Perch, let me get the information. That is the way you will be. Ooh, I'm disappearing. That is the way you'll be able to fly. And sometimes it'll be this way, and sometimes it'll be this way, but you can navigate yourself better by understanding that. And just quickly about the feeling part, when you perch and try to understand your feelings should be validated, but you discuss what you feel, but then why you're feeling that way is because what you believe. And when what you believe something, that will also drive the change. Because too many people are talking about, I keep on saying the word, what they feel. Great. Okay, that's what you feel. But what are you doing about it? What do you believe, Carly? You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And I appreciate you so much because you are so authentic and you're so honest. You're so honest. And you and I have known each other for years, and you know about me. When I consume a lot of stuff, right? Even from our own community, right? Because we're all very passionate about those we serve. And we should be, right? We should be passionate about it. But if I catch myself scrolling too much,
Yeah.
and then it feeds the algorithm, and then you get the same stuff, right? And the same messages, like I will find myself just so escalated that I can't do anything else. And I'm just at capacity. I'm like over my head.
Yep.
And then, like you were mentioning, like I feel like burnt out, and I feel like really pessimistic. And that's not who I am.
That's right.
But like I get hidden, I get buried under it.
Yes. Yes.
And I think I get locked into my own emotions sometimes. So I appreciate what you're saying about the perch. Like that's really super resonates with me. Like take a minute, right? Like take a beat. I am very quick to post something on socials. I am super quick to do that. And part of it is like therapeutic for me. Part of it is my advocate heart, like ready to go, ready to fight, right, for the kids we serve. So I don't want to lose that. But the importance of the perch, I think, is so important. Like that, it's critical. And so I appreciate that you said that.
And it's the biggest part of this. And that's what I really wanted to make sure that you understood about it, is that there are a couple of R's that I want everybody to be aware of right now. And the first thing, of course, we talked about is to think constructively, behave wisely. Okay. You also have to understand, what emotional intelligence is. And you could reach out to me. You could look at, the Believe Cafe, which we did during the pandemic. It is older, but it is still the professional development courses that I'll be doing about it. And just anything you want to reach out to get more information about it. One of the big things is you just want to understand, again, the ability to think constructively and behave wisely without question. But then, of course, the definitions of what emotional intelligence really is, which I just want to get back to very quickly.
Please. Yep.
Is, sorry about that. Knowing exactly what it really means, which is the second one is harmonizing the cognitive and the emotional mind, understanding that you need those two for essential effective behavior, which is just huge. And then the other one is intentional and self-directed behavior needs reflective thought. So what that means is it's academic for calling yourself in. Never call yourself out. Only Kanye calls himself out. He calls people out, right? Call yourself in. Calling yourself out just does too much damage. When you call yourself in, you're being graceful with yourself, right? And what you do is when we talk about intentional and self-directed behavior needs reflective thought, what that just basically means is, why am I acting this way? Why am I reacting this way? All right, hold on a second. I'm doing this. Okay, let me call myself in. I realize what I'm doing, right? Be okay with yourself, right? For example, some things when I'm stressed, I want to go and get my Starbucks, and I want to go after, and I have a little bit because there's lunch, and then I have my planning time. And then I'll escape because I have a little bit more time. But then I'll play with the actual time because I lack the time management. And I've got like 7 minutes to get a cup of coffee and then get back. But I'll go through the drive-through, and then I've got like Tommy McClanahan in his F-150. And I'm like, he's only going to get a cup of coffee, but he gets like 6 Frappuccinos. And now I'm mad at Tommy. And then I got Susie Subero behind me trying to, and so I can't get back up, and I'm going to be late. Now I got to ask my friend to open up my door for me, and I got to do all these things. And now I'm walking in with a Starbucks late. My principal sees me, and I'm mad at the world when it was really me. So let's be really honest. And too often we're in a field where people are blame.
Yeah.
And blame is very corrosive in relationships. And so it's important for us to really be honest with ourselves when we have intentional, self-directed behavior needing that reflective thought. And with that reflective thought comes us learning about ourselves, which is that self-awareness, which is the perching, understanding my feelings, understanding where blame is coming from, and then using our cognitive to really process the information and engage in understanding and study so that you know that information. So that's a major key factor that we want, because if not, you can wind up with compassion fatigue, depressive disorders, frustration, burnout, when I just want you to burn in, right? I want you to burn in. Many, many times people talk about, I teach with my hair on fire. No, the flames are nothing, friend. The flames are just that, smoke and mirrors when it comes to teaching. You know what the real teaching and the real inside of who you are, the person who believes, the embers. Think about a fire. You're sitting at the fire pit and the flames look real pretty and you're doing your thing and you're making your s'mores, but your s'mores always burn. The marshmallows burn in a flame. But with embers that really deep within that fire that you have within you to teach, go with me on this metaphor. You have the embers. When you put that marshmallow over the embers, it gets nice and brown and lovely. And you have to monitor and watch it because that's where the true warmth comes from within. Fire, 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 teach, fire, fire. I got to do it. My scope and sequence. I got to get everything going. Oh, I'm feeling this way. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm doing this. No. Let it burn down. You've got yourself the embers. That's where I want you to burn in, not burn out. And by perching and understanding and a couple other things we're going to talk about, but I'll stop talking for right now because I'm getting way too excited. And I just want to know what you think about this stuff. If you have any questions.
I love that analogy. I really do. When you were saying the word embers, and we were saying like the flame, it reminded me, and I'm trying to look at my bookshelf here because I know I have it over here. Mandy Freilich has this beautiful book kind of about like this like different levels of like educator wellness and stuff like that. And she talks about like burnout, but then there's also like demoralization, which is like the next level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, brilliant. Right. Brilliant. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Love. So I see so many like really beautiful connections here to like so many fabulous ladies in our field. And I love that so much. But like, I love that quote and I put it in the bottom there. I want you to burn in, not burn out. Like knit that on a pillow.
I know that's kind of what it is. And that's where I also want to introduce you with a couple of things here. I want you to burn in, not burn out. And you do that with something. And please forgive me because I am someone who wants to give credit where credit is due. And I cannot. That's why my eyes are going up. I'm trying to find the researcher behind this because we must practice according to the research. We can't just say, oh, I got it. And then you got it on TikTok. Stop. It's okay. TikTok can be good, but find that peer-reviewed article at least 2 or 3 times within 5 years. I know I sound like a doctoral student, but come on now. We've got to do that because we have to practice what we preach because we need truth and we need to find facts, not our feelings. And with facts, then we can use our feelings to find the facts so that we can reflect on what we learned. And that's the first thing. Once I get this person, I'll definitely put it in the comments when this goes recorded. So sorry, again, forgive me. It's called DOSE. And this brilliant, brilliant person made this acronym of DOSE. And if you get your daily dose as an educator, you will do very well to burn in. And DOSE stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Getting your daily dose will help you. I don't like the word balance because it isn't really balanced. There's sometimes work is much more than home life and that whole balance. No, you just have to learn to navigate as best as possible and check yourself when one is increasing than the other. Balance is too difficult. Just one can go higher than the other. It's okay. But getting your daily dose of dopamine. And what is that dopamine? Some sort of competitive thing, not doom scrolling. But if you want to play that farm something game or whatever, get your little dopamine. But I would say a little more competition, a little something that gets you going. Challenge yourself with learning a language. Challenge yourself with looking up a policy. Challenge yourself with actually looking up a policy and maybe going to 5calls.org, which is the resource that you can do to call your representatives about things you don't believe in. That you don't believe are happening and you would like to see change. Sorry, I'm stuttering because I'm getting so excited about this because I believe in it so strongly. No pun intended. Moving on. So getting your daily dose of dopamine, joining a club, doing some sort of competition where it's healthy within your brain. There's your dopamine. Oxytocin, where do you feel safe? Where does your safety come from? Oxytocify yourself, snuggle up, do your thing, get a hug, do something where you feel the oxytocin, where you are feeling safe. Go to a safe space for yourself or help create those safe spaces. I, for example, absolutely love elephants and I think they're great. And I live in Florida and I love manatees. I think somebody else does. One of my favorite things in the world, and I did name a manatee, just so you know, and I adopted a manatee, and I named the manatee Carly. So just so you know, surprise. But Carly loves manatees also, and one of my safe oxytocified, which is not really a word, but I do it, is I'll go to the springs and I will see manatees, and I'll watch them eat lettuce, and I will be so happy about it, and it automatically find that space that oxytocifies you, and there's your DO. S is serotonin. Serotonin is feeling like a leader, but also serotonin happens with dark chocolate. And if I may say this as well, serotonin happens when you are leading in your religious institution or your community institution, and you feel like you're speaking out or you're doing something that increases your serotonin, but also some adult activity.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is your body as a human needs serotonin. How? And look it up and research. And if you need anything, reach out to me. Serotonin increases your abilities to truly feel like that leader that can do anything. And that's important as well. And then, of course, endorphins. And I'm going to ask you, what do you think the endorphins is? And think about it using activate your schemata. What is endorphins? What do you think?
Okay, so you're going to laugh at me. You're going to laugh at me, but you know me and you know me. So this is not going to be a surprise to you. When I hear endorphins, I think of Legally Blonde. I think of our girl, Elle Woods. And she says, endorphins make you happy, right? And she goes, exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. And that's always what she said, or that's what she said in the movie. So I know that exercise gives you endorphins.
That's it. And the runners, we'll talk about them at happy hour, because I don't know who can do that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I envy and I bow down to those who run, but they do get something called a runner's high. And I had it once in my life when I did a Disney Princess 13.1 half marathon. And I went, what is this euphoric feeling? And it was, in fact, endorphins, where you feel like you can just keep going. You hit a point in running where it's like, whoa, and you can go 4 miles. And you're like, what is happening to me? And that is what I wish for everybody, is to have that. And that endorphin feeling also happens with Mihai Csikszentmihalyi's work on flow. And to find flow is your optimal experience. And one day we can do a podcast about this sometime, but optimal experience is that moment where it's the Goldilocks of challenging yourself, and yet something that isn't too easy, but it's not too difficult. It's the Goldilocks moment where you find some sort of hobby. Do not tell me that, scrolling and going and watching movies can still be hobbies per se, but sitting there and Netflix and just chilling out is not necessarily that hobby, unless you're kind of writing about or going to a movie club or doing something where it's a little bit of a different hobby. I'm talking about something that you will do that will challenge you to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about what time it is. I forgot to eat. That's called flow. And do you know what that is actually, according to neuroscience and Mihai Csikszentmihalyi? Joy. Joy. We think so much about being happy. No. See, pleasure is fleeting. Fleeting. Pleasure. Fleeting, according to Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Happiness, we need an external factor to make us happy. Joy is from within. So not only do we burn in, we try to find joy from within by calling ourselves in for our emotional intelligence and self-awareness, and getting our daily dose of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And when we do that, we'll be able to decipher the difference between a routine and a ritual.
Ooh, routine and ritual.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I love that about dose. Like I like the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins.
Yes.
I love, again, what you said. So like, I want you to burn in, not burn out, but like the joy also needs to come from within.
With 100% within. And that could be anything. So Carly, when you are not advocating and being an activist and just writing all your books, fantastic. Congratulations on your new book, by the way. I cannot wait. And all the things that you're doing and just keynoting and going out and empowering people for the things you believe in, not necessarily just what you feel. Your feelings drove your beliefs, right? And then you became an expert in your field and you continuously research. That's what you believe, right? So you're reflecting on your practice. You're not reacting, which is a big difference. What is it that you do outside of that you love doing?
I love being with my family. I love like shopping and like putting together outfits. I love organizing stuff. I love the color pink. I love dogs. I love dogs and fostering puppies.
There it is.
I
That's
love,
the one. I love it because out of the things that you did say, some of it was just things that you enjoy,
yeah.
but others were actual hobbies. And the putting together outfits is absolutely, it's one of my favorite things because I have a dress collection and I love it. And I'll tell you that I can put my hobbies into action as well, which I'll tell you in a second. That's what people can do, but you want to separate that sometimes. So putting those outfits, a hobby, right? Organizing, wonderful. I wish I can be you because I do not organize well. But your hobby of fostering those puppies, you are incredible at that. Have you ever just fostered a puppy and just spent the whole time with the puppy, and then all of a sudden it's 9 o'clock at night and you totally forgot to eat, sleep, or drink, or take care of your kids because oh my gosh, this puppy, and you were putting on social media, you want to adopt this, or you're going into getting a cafe with a little sign that says adopt me, and you're doing all those things. You are creating your own personal joy. By creating that joy, you are within yourself so that when you go back to the classroom, you have that. You think of that. You go back to that. You're taking care of yourself, because if you don't, because there's a couple of people who have actually said to me in the counseling and in the coaching that I do in districts, that they say, Dorina, I never knew this. I don't have a hobby. My work is my hobby. My students are my hobby. My kids are my hobby. That's my hobby. No, that's not your hobby. What is your respite? What is the thing that you do to help you relax and do? Not rest, respite. Rest is literally close your eyes and rest. Yeah. Respite is possibly doing something like a hobby. Yeah. So when you do your dose, you can go in, find your optimal experience of your flow, and then also think about your own emotional intelligence by what you feel. Let that drive what you have to learn and know for your cognitive perch when one is more than the other, so you can burn in, not out. Among many other things I wish I could talk about.
Ooh, there's like so many things that we could still unpack. Like, I love, and I'm going to link this particular episode because it's always my go-to. Like, I don't know how many watches are on that video because I've watched it so many times, but the junk drawer activity, I'm going to link that in the comments because I think every human being, again, regardless of if you're in education or not, everybody needs that as a practice. But I know that it's already super late.
Is it really? Oh my gosh. Thanks everybody for hanging out. This has been amazing.
This has been so good. And anytime I can hear your voice and see your face, I get so happy. And I feel like it brings me like joy. Like it gives me some dopamine.
That's it. We give each other oxytocin and serotonin, and that's it. You have that safety as well, which is so important. And that's why I am wearing these and why Believe has the palm tree. It's something called palm tree pedagogy. And what I mean by that is palm tree pedagogy is just a creation of mine that I want everybody to know about and build and think about what a palm tree does, what it makes you feel, the historical aspects of palms, the fact that it gives shelter, the fact that they are not rooted deeply, they can pick up and go. But when they do, and they're running out of water, they actually match their roots together to actually give water to others. And so it is just so powerful. It gives shade, it gives protection, and it can be constantly within the storms. But very few will topple over, even though they're not fully rooted. And that means teachers can pick up and be resilient and go where they need to go and still ground themselves and find their roots. But when you are with palm tree pedagogy, you are a protector, not only of yourself, but of others. You are swaying with the ebbs and flows of life. You are understanding that you need that dose and that it is difficult every once in a while to be a teacher. But when you burn in and not burn out by doing some of these practices, understanding that you have a routine to do, but then there's also the rituals that you do. And hopefully you can invite me back and we'll talk about what that is too. And I just want you to think about palm tree pedagogy and what it means to be a protector, educator, an advocate, and an activist through your radical self-care by being someone who believes in self-preservation. Healthy teacher, healthy student, healthy learning. And when you do that, you will be the educators who lead to inspire and empower via empathy. So I hope you all believe.
Dorina, thank you so much. This was so good. And like, I feel all the good. I feel all the good.
Well, let's toast to people. Where's your drink? We have to toast to people. Mine is water that actually has been the full moon. I was supposed to put water in front of the full moon the other night, and it was supposed to make, it's some little thing that people talk about. And one of my former students told me, put the water and then allow the moon energy. And I said, you got it. So apparently, according to my student, I wanted to share this. So shout out to my student who gave me moon water energy. And let's toast to everybody watching. Thank you so much. Here's to us. Here's to all we do. Here's to all we will do. And here's to us constantly believing in ourselves and others. So this is for you and for everybody there.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. I absolutely love that. So friends who are watching, thank you for hanging with us. Here's to you. And we are so, so happy that we got to connect with our fabulous, fabulous friends. So make sure for everybody who is watching that you follow Dr. Dorina on X. Her handle is there at Dr. Dorina Ebuwa. And then I also want you guys to check out her website, which is scrolling below. So it's www.dorinasackman.com. Okay. So make sure you go right there. You tag her, you're like bookmark her website, follow her on social media. We will go ahead and link the YouTube channel because you guys you got to check that out. That is my go-to resource. But Dorina, thank you so much for being here tonight and for hanging with us. We love you. I love you personally, and I'm so, so thankful just to be connected with you. And anytime we can talk about this, I always just feel better. So
thank you to you and the IRC. Thank you, Illinois Resource Center. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, everyone, take care. We will talk to you all soon. Have a good night.
Bye.